record at UK. First time in his 9 years at UK that has been over the 500 mark. He was at one point in the 2016 season, 2 games in, were 12 and 26. Since then, 39 wins, 24 losses.
Thank you, Tony. I'd like to first recognize the Heroes Day today before I get into talking about the game. But just, today, 9/11, just greatly appreciate all the folks that are on the front line that work their tail off for us day in and day out. So thank you. Also like to recognize the stadium and the fans. I thought it was it was just an awesome atmosphere. It's been a while since we had an atmosphere like that, and thank you. We need it. Our players deserve it. You can tell they work extremely hard. It's my job to get it a little cleaner. We'll do that. We have to finish off people, much better. We had an opportunity at the end of the first half to really take full control. That didn't happen, but I was absolutely pleased with the way we started the second half. You talk about the middle 8. We had a chance to really put a knife in them, let them off the hook. They put the dagger in us with the late touchdown at the end of the first half, and we come back. They get the ball. We get an interception and go right down and score. Big part of the game. Really appreciate our players facing that adversity that happened at the end of the first half and once again responding. And so I thought we did so many good things. It's a shame that it had to be so close, but because we had opportunities to pull away. And we have to clean that up. We got to get better, and we will. Once again, there's no excuse for fumbling the ball on the 6-inch line. No excuse to get a field goal block. I would have liked to have gone for it there, but if we make the extra point, or make the field goal, essentially ice the game. And it's been a while since we had one blocked, I believe. So you got to get that fixed. But proud of our team and our coaches. They did so many good things. You saw that. It was very evident today. We were challenged our team to be excited to play. They were. I felt like we were extremely physical. Once again, we had an opportunity to do, we had some really good drives there. And defensively, they had us on our heels. Give them credit. They did a lot of good things. With Connor at quarterback, they keep you off balance, and they did a nice job. But we rose up and made some stops when we had to. So overall, great team victory. We'll enjoy it tonight and get back to work and try to get 3-0 next week.
Mark, I know there's some stuff you want to clean up. What does it say about your program if you make those kind of mistakes and still be a quality SEC opponent?
Yeah, I think that says a lot because you saw spurts out there tonight where we were pretty good, and I just got to get some things ironed out. I mean, we just got to get a better killer instinct. When we have an opportunity to ice it, and like I said, I don't want to single out any one guy, but some of those things are just really pissing me off. We can't fumble the football. There's no excuse for that, and got a chance to really put a fork in them. You know what I mean? And can't do it.
Is the killer instinct, is that the same quality to answer at the start of the second half the way they did?
Well, I think starting the second half, we challenged them because it's easy to lose momentum right there because you feel like you're in total control, and it gets flipped on you in a minute and 56, and so for us to respond like we did in the second half, the first possession says a lot. I mean, we were here for a game. I mean, we knew that. You're playing a quality opponent. You better strap it on for 4 quarters, and we were prepared for that, and that's what we did. That was one of the last things I said to him walking out before the game started, was absolutely, because we were excited to play, and we went up 14. I was like, be prepared for a 4-quarter game.
Play that J.J. made there at the end to help put the game away.
I didn't even see what he did.
You didn't see the sack?
Did he get it? I don't know. Oh, that I didn't know who got it. We overloaded that side. He probably came scot-free with the pressure we had, so I can't give him too much credit for beating somebody on that. Yeah, so we called the overload, there, and it was a nice call by Brad, and it was a big play.
It felt like there were a couple. They were getting the aggravating yards, but y'all did time up your shots on the blitzes on the third down.
We what?
On the two stops, you did time up the blitzes.
We did. We got some. We were having a hard time. They were just. It was aggravating yards. It was. They were keeping us off balance. Some of those guys they're big. They got some big receivers. We got to get up and challenge them, better and not give them such easy throws. And then Brad started mixing it up. We started rolling and clouding certain things and not giving them such clean looks, and that helped.
Mark, we saw a little bit more of Will's legs. That's something we thought
Yeah.
might save a little bit for this one.
Well, it's just, there was a couple reads in there, and that was just a scheme and a play that we had the ability to read it, and I thought he did a nice job of pulling it there late during that long drive we were having towards the end of the game.
He doesn't seem like he wants to slide. What does that just kind of say about him that he's?
Well, I saw him at halftime icing up his shoulder, so he better learn to slide a little bit because we're gonna play some more big boys here. But he's a tough kid. You could see he's put together. He works out extremely hard, and he's a tough guy, and he made some tough yards. And you know what? Your team and your fan base kind of rally around guys like that. That get some tough yards when you need them.
Mark, there's so much talk this week about the missed yardage in the run game last week that you all left out there. How much was that a focus to kind of get back to your identity in the run game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking here, and we rushed for 340 yards. That's pretty impressive. And there was a lot more passes called. You saw that. He pulled it down and scrambled some. I don't know how many sacks he had, but when you look at it and you look at opportunities, we called a lot more than that, and he scrambled quite a bit and so on. But the only time we went in total grind mode was the end of that first half, and we were moving the ball. It was crazy not to, and again, you heard me talk about it last week. If I could borrow it from Hayden again, scratch where it itches. Why take them off the hook if they weren't going to stop it? Why stop? And we drove it straight down the field and should have, killed clock and again had a great chance to ice it. Not ice it, but get a big lead there.
Mark, you knew that Connor was good. I mean, so poised, the guy's so smart, and yet he was able to kind of get outside on you all the time. Why was it so difficult to contain him?
Well, it's aggravating. That's a couple times we had 3-man rushes. That maybe you could understand. There was several times we had spies on him. We had guys injured, and again, I'm not making an excuse, but we had some critical guys that couldn't play late and that are more experienced at some of the things we were doing. And we got to get that better. We got to do a better job. There are certain times where the spy, should have been all over them. There are certain times when games, got to come around, and I have to see it all. But there was a combination of things.
Mark, talk within that one, Dale.
Especially his toughness.
I mean, just you can't say enough good things about him. Really, just so tough. Takes shots, just bounces back up, makes the long pass he had that was both two long passes were critical that he hauled in today that weren't easy catches. Those are difference makers. You've heard me talk about it in here for a long time. You got to have some guys that could make some big time plays, and it's nice to have them on our team. I cannot at all understand why it wasn't. I need an explanation. I will not be giving you that explanation. I don't want to spend that money on that, so I won't tell you. But I can tell you they're going to say he didn't hit him in the head.
What did you say about how this offense has come along? Because there for a good stretch, you guys were running the ball so well, we're really leaning on that. But in that second half, when you guys had some third and longs, still able to convert and kind of move the sticks, when in years past that really hadn't been the case.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, we we were effective in the pass game early on in the first half. When I looked at the stats at halftime, it was something was whatever it was, 5 and 9 or something to that effect. Obviously, again, he pulled quite a few down when they were covered. You knew they were playing an aggressive style. I told you that. So, going into the game, and there were times when they did cover us up, and he had to pull it down and escape, and he ran for some positive yards at times, and that was good. But yes, it is nice to have that ability and that balance to be able to throw the ball.
Because you all look for more turnovers on defense. Do you need to do something schematically there, or do you need more individual plays like the one Jacquez made where he just threw it out?
It'll happen. I mean, listen, like last year we were so far plus that when you look at the experts, they're like, there's no way they're going to have that many again. Just you know what I mean? Like sometimes it bounces your way, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, we do the same thing. I mean, so we were incredible last year. You know what I mean? So we got to make some plays. I mean, we had one right in our hands. Again, we got the opportunity to ice the game. I mean, tell me how to teach them to catch that. We'll do it.
Can you attribute the fumbles in particular too? Is that just?
Well, I tell you, I didn't like the fumble because I felt like there were other things on his mind prior to crossing that goal line. But Chris, and I know Chris, and he came back, and he will be a beast, and he'll play hard, and I have all the confidence in him. But that doesn't mean we're not going to correct him. And he will. He'll get it fixed, and he bounced back, and he knows better.
Mark, how do you think the team tackled this evening?
I thought we missed way too many tackles in the flats. And again, when you hear me talk all these years, when do you miss tackles? When you're out of position. And that's when you miss tackles. When we tackle great, we have a bunch of guys in really good position. Now, some people stretch out, and you know what I mean, and that's part of it. And they got really good players and make you miss in the flats, and that's going to happen. I mean, how many times do we make people miss too? It's part of it. But again, it's a team defense. When you have guys in great position, you tend to not miss as many tackles.
Getting a lot of separation on the deep routes. Is that a quick first step? Is it precise route running? What is it about him?
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable, and he's hard to get hands on. He has that ability to make himself skinny and not give his chest up, and get off some press, and that we need. That was a huge play. That was third down, if I'm not mistaken. That long one he caught there, and I mean we've just missed that. You know what I mean? And Will threw it a tad under, but he couldn't miss that throw. You know what I mean? He couldn't go for the perfection right there because he had him beat so bad you had to convert. So that's why once in a while those are maybe you'd rather have him a yard underthrown because you're still going to convert it than just trying to hit him right in stride. You know what I mean? You just can't miss. You can't overthrow that. And so that was the same with Josh when we talked about it last week. He was smart to underthrow that by 1 yard. It was still a touchdown. You overthrow it, it's incomplete.
Obviously, none of it matters without the skill, but when you talk about the way Will runs, the way Rodriguez runs, the way Wandell pops up after taking that shot and he's waving to the crowd, jumping up and down, how much does attitude play a factor for you guys when you have a group of guys that have that sort of, I think you'd say junkyard dog kind of mentality?
Well, that's the first thing we talk about in our program. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the 4 pillars of our program are this, that. I don't talk about pillars, but I talk about attitude, toughness, discipline, and pride. And attitude's the number one thing we talk about. So you better have an attitude or you're not going to play here. So I love seeing it. I love the way he, I love their effort, and again, it's my job to get them ready each and every week. And they certainly responded today. They were ready to play. Maybe a little over anxious at times, but we'll find that right slot. Our best football's in front of us.
Mark, it seems like the only time we mention Chris is due to the fumbles. I mean, he did pretty good otherwise. Do you think that's maybe a sign that we take him for granted too much?
Yeah, you're right. He had 206 yards. Yeah, I guess he got that fixed. I mean those are the type of kids we have in our program. They understand, and it's not about any of us in you know, any individual. You know, it's for the greater cause, and you know, he understands that, and hey, we lean on him. We need him, and you know, late in the game there, he needed a breath, and I was like, we need you, man. We need you. Come on, horse. Come on. And luckily there was a TV timeout. I think they had somebody hurt. And
Mark, did y'all do anything to approach what Beatty was getting done, running to the right, continuously in the first half? Beatty?
yeah.
Yeah, y'all do anything different to kind of slow him down? Because he, you know.
I mean, no, he's a really good player. He's really explosive, and they had 104 net yards rushing. You know, probably a little less than they want, because they usually are more balanced than that as well. But they were effective throwing the ball, so I'm not questioning them. They certainly moved the ball on us better than a lot of people lately, and kept us off balance. But it starts with their run game as well. You have to respect it. And fortunately, we kept on getting some leads, which probably led to them being a little more in the pass category. But it's not like we were stopping them all the time either. I mean, but I am proud of our defense. We made some critical stops when we had to.
This game has been kind of like that in the last
Yeah.
few years. I mean, last year, kind of exception, you're sort of playing from behind the line. You have to, they were on that side. I guess.
Right.
How did it?
Well, I would have liked to have gotten that field goal even at the end, you know, and like I talked about the one at the end of the half, we can't leave points on the field. I mean, we have a chance to we score 35 and should have been 45, right? You know, and I mean, we legitimately, you know, got to say, I mean, you know, as far as Liam's concerned in the offense, to me, they scored 45. You know, they didn't, but they did a good enough job to.
All right, folks, thank you very much.
Mhm.
Appreciate it.